What is up, everyone, and welcome back to the Ratchet Motors YouTube channel. We're getting right back into things with our 1962 F100 Flareside. We're going to get all the sheet metal lined up on that 65 frame, and we're going to get good to go to put everything back together.
So I'm going to start working on the truck. All of my bushings, all of my hardware did show up. So I'm going to start getting all of the sheet metal lined up here. I'm going to work from the back to the front because the back is fixed here. There's nothing I can really do to change with the back other than adding different shims. So I'm going to get the back settled in exactly how it should sit, and then I'll move my way up forward, aligning the cab, and then hopefully from there, aligning my front clip. So I'm going to actually get my engine hoist up out of here, take my little wood mechanism here for the cab lifter off, and I'll use my hoist just to lift that up just a little bit because I have 2x4s between the frame and the bed. I'll pull out my 2x4s, maybe put down some tape just to avoid scratching things up. We'll get this as it sits and then move forward. If you didn't see the last video, I'll put the link up here or up here, wherever it goes. But I made a wood structure here out of 2x4s and 2x6s to lift up the cab. I'm just gonna take that off. It's actually pretty nice. I made lifting the cab super simple for me on my own here. But I'm gonna just go back just to the regular hook to lift up my bed.
right, so it took a little shifting and shuffling around so I could get the engine hoist in the back, but we're all set here. So I'm gonna lift it up just a little bit and pull out those 2x4s again, just start to get my baseline for where everything needs to be lowered down to. All right, well, unfortunately, I opened up the bushings for my truck and there's a mismatch in the kit, so I gotta get a new set of bushings shipped out. But I figured in the meantime, I know I'm gonna need a few spacers for the cab. So I went ahead and drafted something up to make a spacer on my 3D printer just so I can do some test fitting. And I'll make the final piece, I think maybe in aluminum or something. You can see here, I'm just using the printer to print out about 8 different spacers. They're all gonna be about a ½ inch thick. And that'll just give me the ability to kind of shift things around and see how my cab can line up with my bed. So I got that printing here. All right, so we're finally getting back into the truck. It's a few days later. So we got the bed lowered down about where it should be. I got all the bushings I need, so I'm gonna lower down, well, it is lowered down, but I'm gonna put the cab exactly where it should be. As I mentioned, I got these 3D printed spacers so I can figure out exactly how to get it fit level here. I'll get the front clip on as well, just to make sure everything's flat and true. And then I can start fitting up things like the steering column, brake master cylinder, my power steering pump, but it all starts with making sure the body is flat and square first here. So I'm going to get back into my cab lifting mode with my crane, lift it up, make sure all the new bushings are in so everything's right, figure out the spacers I need, and get the front clip on just for fitment. Alright, so I'm going to put the sleeves into the new bushings, and then I'll use the new bushings so I can have the real accurate measurement for the spacers. Alright, so we're going to lift it up, and we're going to sneak all the new bushings in, figure out our spacer. tricky getting all four lined up, but we got it. It's a little warm in here, so I'm gonna drink some water. And then we'll start fitting up a couple spacers in the front, see what looks about right, and then fit the front clip on here. All right, so it's a few days later here. I got the spacers in. Things are actually looking pretty good as far as the cab relative to the bed. I'm not really gonna know if everything's perfect though until I get the front clip on here as well and see how everything kind of lines up as a system. Now I was kind of back and forth on it, but I'm gonna take the inner fenders out here just to make it a little bit easier on myself. So I'll take the inner fenders out real quick. Then I'm gonna move the front clip over and make sure everything lines up across the board. And then it's steering column, brakes, everything, but I wanna make sure we are squared up here before I start taking those things, because some of those lengths are gonna be critical and I don't want anything shifting around once it comes time to fit like the steering column, for instance. So inner fenders first, we'll get it up on the frame, and then we'll get that final fitment. Now there's three in the front here and kind of go in like that. So I'm gonna try to get these. They're a little bit trickier as a one-man job here, but I do get some power tools next morning, so I can be a little bit louder here. So it's three on this side, and then I'll do everything the same on the other side there, on the driver's side. Smaller wrench into that last one here. Oh man, these actual lines. That was actually easy. All right, let's see. Take this hanging one out. Nice. All right, so let me just do the same thing on the other side, on the driver's side there. All right, so everything's actually moving pretty okay here. There's two bolts I could never get out previously. I gotta get them out now. They're the two bolts in the front of the front clip that mount across essentially where the radiator goes. This would be part of the radiator frame. I need to get them out. They're kind of like rusted, stuck in place. So I'm gonna use my ball joint press to try to punch them out just before we get them over there, because that's how I'm actually gonna align with my new bushings. And I just want to have the right hardware. There's like an old bushing stuck here. It's like a little paper thin bushing. So just trying to press everything out so I can use the exact bushings, exact hardware. So again, I know everything is perfectly lined up. No luck. It's just a really awkward angle, so it's not easy to hit there. I'm gonna try it just by hammer. Now it's right out. It's actually like fused there. No harm, no foul. This is the same thing on the other side. Look at this crap. This is what you're looking for if you want to get into old cars, old trucks, old cars. Nice and easy. Top. Now my bushings don't look exactly the same as this, so I have to figure out exactly what the difference is. It seems like everything I bought, there's just a slight difference than what I'm seeing here, but we'll figure it out. All right, I got an idea for moving this. I'm not sure if it's gonna work, but I'm gonna give it a try anyways. All right, so you can see we're getting super close here with overall body fitment. I'm just gonna do a little bit of messing around with the bushings in the back. I'm actually gonna flip them, which wouldn't necessarily advise, but these bushings are so stiff. I think the smaller of the two is still gonna be fine. Should lower the back of the cab just slightly and hopefully just align this cab just a little bit. We're super close. This would actually probably be acceptable. I could probably get everything to fit right and it look pretty good. I'm just gonna do a little bit more fine tuning since I'm already in here. And then really all the sheet metal's lined up. I'm gonna have to go back and put all the new hardware in different locations, particularly in the bed. But knowing that everything fits together is a huge deal here, especially going from the 62 frame to the 65 frame, which are not the exact same, not even close what I realized. But once all the sheet metal's together here, again, it's power steering getting set up for our new steering rack, for our power steering pump. We got the brake master cylinder I gotta figure out. Then a seat, I need to figure out a seat here, some kind of bench seat, because the other one wasn't cutting it. We're gonna put in something nicer here, but it all starts coming together once the sheet metal fits right. So again, just gonna do a little bit with the bushings in the back, see if I can get that perfect fitment per my perspective, and then that's gonna be really good to go. We can start putting things back together here. Super excited. All right, so that's really everything we have for this one today. Doesn't seem like a lot, but that was actually a huge deal in getting this truck put back together. Now that we know where everything is going to sit as far as the sheet metal, I can bolt everything down. I can start fitting up stuff like my steering shaft for my steering column. I can start thinking about things like electrical and all of my different plumbing. So it all came down to getting the sheet metal settled in here. I already have on order a new steering column. I have a seat that I have coming in here. I have a power steering pump and a radiator. I'm going to show all of those getting installed in the next video. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe for more content so you don't miss the next one on this truck, and hope to see you again soon.